Real estate supply and demand feels simple until you look at how slowly homes are created. Mechanically, demand can rise quickly when jobs, migration, incomes, or credit improve, but supply needs land, permits, financing, labor, and construction time. For example, a city gaining thousands of workers before enough apartments are built. That is why housing prices can rise because supply reacts late. Demand in real estate means qualified buyers or renters, not just people who want a home. The process works because income, savings, mortgage approval, family needs, and confidence turn desire into market pressure. A simple example is many people wanting villas but only a smaller group able to qualify for villa mortgages. The practical lesson is that real demand depends on purchasing power. Supply means available homes in the right category. The hidden lever is that a city can have many luxury flats and still lack affordable family housing near schools. A realistic case is empty high-end towers not solving shortage for middle-income renters. The viewer should remember that the type of supply matters as much as the total number. When demand rises faster than supply, prices usually climb. The moving part is this. Buyers compete through higher offers, faster decisions, fewer conditions, or accepting weaker locations. One ordinary version is 10 families bidding for 3 suitable townhouses in a school district. Once you see that, competition converts scarcity into price pressure. When supply exceeds demand, sellers lose leverage. What changes the outcome is that buyers can negotiate, compare, delay, and request repairs or discounts. Think of a new district delivering thousands of similar apartments at once, forcing landlords to offer free months. That small detail changes the decision because oversupply shifts power toward the buyer or renter. Interest rates affect demand by changing monthly affordability. In real life, a higher rate can reduce the loan amount a buyer can handle even if the home price is unchanged. Picture a family approved for a larger mortgage last year qualifying for less after rates rise. This matters because credit conditions can cool demand without changing population. Rents respond when households cannot or do not buy. Under the surface, if buying becomes expensive, more people may rent longer, increasing rental demand. This shows up when first-time buyers delaying purchase and renewing leases after mortgage payments jump. So the useful takeaway is that purchase market pressure can spill into rental markets. Construction pipelines create delayed supply shocks. The practical engine is simple. Projects started during boom times may finish years later when demand has cooled. You can see it when developers launching towers during high prices and delivering them into a weaker market. The result is that real estate cycles can overshoot because building takes time. Land restrictions tighten supply. Mechanically, zoning, geography, infrastructure, protected areas, and ownership patterns can limit where homes can be built. For example, a coastal city squeezed between water and mountains facing limited expansion options. That is why physical and legal limits can keep supply tight for years. Investor demand changes the buyer pool. The process works because investors may buy based on yield, appreciation, currency protection, or diversification rather than personal living needs. A simple example is cash investors buying small apartments before owner-occupiers can arrange financing. The practical lesson is that the strongest bidder may not be the person planning to live there. Demographics reshape demand slowly but powerfully. The hidden lever is that marriage rates, birth rates, aging, migration, and household size alter what types of homes are needed. A realistic case is more single professionals increasing demand for studios and one-bedroom units near business areas. The viewer should remember that population structure determines what supply should be built. Short-term rentals can reduce long-term supply. The moving part is this. When owners move homes to holiday platforms, fewer units remain for residents. One ordinary version is tourist neighborhoods where apartments earn more nightly than monthly, pushing local rents upward. Once you see that, a property can leave the local housing supply without physically disappearing. Government policy can increase or restrict supply. What changes the outcome is that permits, taxes, rent rules, infrastructure spending, and affordable housing programs all change incentives. Think of faster approvals encouraging construction while strict limits slow new projects. That small detail changes the decision because policy design shapes how quickly supply responds. Neighborhood demand can be hyperlocal. In real life, one side of a city may soften while another rises because schools, transit, or lifestyle differ. Picture homes near a newly opened metro station gaining demand while car-dependent areas lag. This matters because national headlines can hide street-level variation. Vacancy rates are useful signals. Under the surface, low vacancy suggests renters have few choices, while high vacancy gives them options. This shows up when a landlord raising rent easily in a full building but offering concessions when many units sit empty. So the useful takeaway is that availability changes negotiation power. Supply quality matters too. The practical engine is simple. New homes that do not match buyer budgets, family sizes, or locations may not solve the main shortage. You can see it when luxury waterfront units failing to help teachers who need affordable homes near schools. The result is that wrong supply can coexist with real shortage. A buyer should read supply and demand before making an offer. Mechanically, count competing listings, check days on market, watch price cuts, and understand buyer activity. For example, offering aggressively when similar homes sell in a week, but negotiating harder when listings sit for months. That is why market pressure should shape strategy. Supply and demand affects real estate through competition, timing, credit, and construction lag. The process works because prices rise or fall not because homes have feelings, but because people with budgets meet a limited set of suitable properties. A simple example is every hot neighborhood and slow market can be traced back to who wants what and how much is available. The practical lesson is that real estate becomes clearer when you study the buyer pool and the competing supply together. Real estate supply is slow. A phone factory can increase production faster than a city can create new homes in good locations. Land, permits, construction time, infrastructure, and financing all slow supply. That is why a sudden increase in demand can push prices up quickly, while new supply may take years to respond. Demand also changes with affordability. If incomes rise or mortgage rates fall, more buyers may qualify for the same homes. If rates rise, the buyer pool can shrink even when people still want to buy. Desire alone does not create real estate demand. Demand means people are willing and financially able to complete the purchase. Local supply matters more than national headlines. A country may have many homes overall, but a specific school district, waterfront area, or job hub may have very limited available property. Buyers compete for that micro-location, not for the national average. This is why real estate prices can rise in one neighborhood while another area stays flat. Supply and demand in real estate explains price pressure, rent pressure, bidding wars, long selling times, and development cycles. The key is to ask where supply is flexible and where it is fixed. When demand grows in a place where supply cannot respond easily, prices tend to become more sensitive. Real estate is local because scarcity is local.